So this series will give you a brief overview of on how to configure your Vim editor as an IDE. And this particular video, in this video, we are going to do general settings, some general stuff without installing the plugins. So first of all, let me open up the terminal and just type in Vim. If you don't have Vim installed on whatever system you are, I'm on Arch Linux. So on Arch you can install, if you don't have Vim, you can install it using pacman-s vim sudo if you are not a root user. If I do that and give my password, it says reinstalling, so I won't install it again. I already have it. Now if I go ahead and do type vim, I'll be presented with such an interface, like the interface that can be seen here. So it gives us many different options. For example, if I type help, I can go through a whole manual. They are telling how to use Vim and stuff like that. There's also, I believe, something called Vim tutor. Yes, if you type Vim tutor, they will teach you how to use Vim basically. So you can do this, and I'm not here for this. I'm going to tell you how to configure your Vim editor. So as I said, we are going to do basic configuration in this video. So first of all, what you are going to create is a vimrc configuration file. So you can just go ahead and do vim.vimrc in the home. I'm in the home directory, so here only you can just type vim, and this tilde symbol symbolizes home, and in the home we can do this .vimrc, so that the file will be created in home. Let me just, yeah, so I'm in the home of a user called bit. So I will go ahead and create the vimrc using this command. As we just created this file, it is empty. I'll insert some lines using, I just pressed I to insert. So I'll first of all write set number. So when I do this and write and quit, I pressed escape :wq and enter to write and quit. When I do that, first of all, let me show you. I have vimrc here, as can be seen, and then wait a minute, we have a vimrc, right? Okay, so now if I open up Vim, you can see a number 1 here. Okay, let me go ahead, go back to the vimrc. We can see 1 here. Now what I want to show you is, if I go like this, we can see that the lines are being numbered. So what this set number thing is doing is, it is configuring Vim to present these lines. Now another thing is set relative number. So if I go ahead and write and quit this, write and quit, if I open vimrc again, so we can see that now the numbers are relative to each other. For example, if I go to the very last, here I'm on the 20th line, but from the last line we can see relative numbers. From any line we can see the relative numbers. So this thing does that, the set relative number. Now what I'm going to do next is, we can search for any file, right? For any particular term in any file. For example, let me open up the configuration of DWM, right? Using Vim, it should be here. So this is the configuration file of DWM. Okay, and it looks purely white. We cannot get the syntax properly and stuff like that. So for that, I will tell you what we have to do, but just search for a particular, let's just search for a particular word. For example, let's search for elf, no, let's search, okay, Firefox. Yeah, we can see it here. If I do a forward, for example, if I do a forward slash and then type Firefox, you can see in the bottom left, I just wrote Firefox, and when I hit enter, it will show me the matching string. So the cursor went to Firefox here, and if I right here, the cursor went there. If I do N, it will try to show me the next possible search, next possible match. For example, if I do /null to find any string that matches this particular string that I just entered, You can see the cursor is somewhere else. If I press N, it will give me the next possible matching string, and it will go ahead like that. So I'll quit out of this. Now for highlighting it properly, what we are going to do is we're going to add some lines. So we are going to set HL search, maybe it stands for highlight search, and INCSERCH search. So this will help us to probably search stuff. One more thing is syntax on. When I do this, it should work, I think. Let's open up the config file again. Let's see if it worked or not. Okay, so we can see some stuffs happening here. We can see the Vim is recognizing colors, recognizing the syntax and providing some colors. We can see the number line here in the relative numbers, and so that is that. Okay, wait, let us search for null now or something. You can see it is being highlighted differently when I do null, and the first option, second, third, like that. So the actual search and the INC search, maybe that helped us to achieve that. And now we can see a syntax here too. So when I do syntax on, it helps us to remind those things. By default, I think its syntax is on. I don't know, you can add this line, it would be beneficial. So now the next thing, this is mostly optional if you want to do this or not, is the set cursor line. If you set cursor line, let me show you what happens. Because of that, we can see a line here, right? Wherever our cursor is, a line is going along with it. And there's one more similar term called set column cursor, I think. Column COR, no, cursor column, maybe CRSORCOLUMN. Okay, so that should be it. Now if I do vimr, so we can see I'm moving the cursor back and forward, so it is being highlighted, and when I do up and down, it is also being highlighted during cursor line. For example, let me comment this line for while. For commenting, you just have to use a double colon, so double quote once, and the line gets commented like this. Let me save it, and you can see the cursor is being distinguished like that for column. So if you want, you can do this. Let me just comment both of these lines. I don't want any of these right now, so that is commented. Sorry. Now next thing I would like to show you, for example, if you want to go to the next line while you are in normal mode, I mean you have not pressed I for insert, I mean when you press escape, you go to the normal mode. Whichever mode you are, when you are in normal mode, if you press O on a particular line, it will bring you into the insert mode for the next line. So the next thing I would like to talk about is something called tab stops. We can set this tab stop. I am setting it to 4 because I generally write Python code, and generally in other programming languages also, a tab should I think it stands for 4 characters. So related to that, we have shift width, which will also be equal to 4. You can set it accordingly, whatever you want. And a soft tab stop, what this does is this helps to soft tab stop equal to 4, I guess. Soft, okay, one more T, right? Okay, soft tab stop equal to 4. When I do this, it will help us. For example, if you have to do a backspace, that it will set that also to 4. something like that. You can try it, give it a try. We are just doing the basic setup right now. You can see there's a color scheme, right? And so what Vim generally comes with some basic color schemes, default color schemes. We can change the color schemes using the color scheme command. So if I just being in the normal mode, not in any other mode, I'm in the normal mode. If you are not in normal mode, you can press escape, and then when I do colon, and then if I do colors and just hit tab, color scheme, give it a space and then hit tab, you see a color appears called blue. Again, if I hit tab, dark blue, and there are some default colors, and then I come back to blue. So if I do color scheme blue and hit enter, a blue color scheme, something like this, appears. If I change it to dark blue, something else, it is a little bit different. If I do, for example, something called Zellner, it will be like this. And so you can go ahead and choose any of the color schemes that you like. I'll leave it to default. It was default right now. For right now, I'll change it later. So the next thing we are going to do is we can set what I have set cursor line. Okay, so a thing called wild menu, what this tries to do is it tries to help us autocomplete some words in a file. So this is not a proper autocompleter for program writing, but this helps. We will be installing we will be using a plugin for that, but this helps that plugin as well. So one more thing, there's one thing called expand tab that comes whenever we use tabs, stop and stuff like that. We also use expand tab. I don't know much about these options. You can search them up, easily look them up on the internet and find what they mean. So and, I think smart tab is also there. It yeah, I think it helps us to what to smartly recognize where the tab space would mean what. For example, when I write a Python code, example, when I write for or an if statement, for example, if 5 is greater than 3, then a colon, I want it to be here, not to the next line on the first place, but to be 4 places ahead or some places ahead. So the smart tab, I think, helps us to smartly try and detect what is to be done in a particular situation. I have written that buffer, written that amount of things, right, and put it out of there. The next thing we are going to do is, for example, you can see my cursor right now. If I click somewhere in this file, I'm trying to click it, just it's trying to select it, something like that, but the cursor, you can see, is not moving like it generally does in notepad or any other IDE out there. So for that, what we can do is, there's a simple option that we can set, mouse is equal to A. When we do this, right and quit, go back. Now if I press somewhere here, you can see the cursor is moving. The cursor is moving. So that is done. Now one important thing is you have to set encoding. I mean, you can leave it, but it is important to, it is good to set it. So you already know what it is, encoding UTF-8. There are many other encodings, but the most popular one is UTF-8, and so we will set it to this. I can just write and that would be saved. For example, when we do Control S or choose the file option and then save a file, this :W, escape :W is similar to that, just to write. And when I do write and quit, it quits also. So I think this should be sufficient enough for the basic setup of Vim, and I will end the video here only. I'll see you all in the next video.